call came at 3 in the morning. An astronomer's voice, trembling, reported an anomaly beyond Pluto. It wasn't one object, but 7, flying in a tight, unnatural V formation. In the days since, a hushed panic has spread through the world's space agencies.
It was moving too fast for that. And the other thing is that the object was relatively big.
These 7 mysterious comets are moving too fast, shining too brightly, and what's more, they seem to be communicating with each other. We are told comets are simple, cosmic snowballs, but what if they are not? We are about to pull back the curtain on the most unsettling cosmic event of our time: 7 shadows. Our story begins in the coldest, loneliest part of our cosmic neighborhood, the Oort cloud. It's a vast, theoretical sphere of icy bodies surrounding our solar system, almost a light year away. Think of it as a giant celestial freezer, home to trillions of dormant comets. Every so often, a gravitational nudge sends one of these lonely travelers on a long journey toward our sun. They are random, chaotic, and above all, they travel alone. At least, that's what we thought. 3 months ago, a team at the Atacama Observatory in Chile was conducting a routine deep sky survey. What they found was anything but routine. On the very edge of our detection capabilities, they saw not 1, but 7 distinct objects. This itself was a little unusual, but what made them check their equipment for errors was their formation. The 7 objects were arranged in a near-perfect heptagon, a 7-sided shape, all moving at the exact same velocity. The chances of this happening naturally are not just 1 in a million, but statistically 0. It was like finding 7 grains of sand on a beach that had, by sheer chance, formed a perfect microscopic watch. Many people are crazy about finding patterns in the sky, but this was different. This was a pattern that shouldn't exist. Initially, the discovery was kept under wraps. The team ran diagnostic after diagnostic, convinced their multi-million-dollar telescope was malfunctioning. But every check came back clear. Neighboring observatories were quietly tipped off, and soon telescopes from Hawaii to the Canary Islands confirmed the finding. 7 objects, all on a trajectory that would bring them sweeping through the inner solar system. Now officially designated as comets, this mysterious fleet was unlike anything ever recorded. The thing nobody tells you is that in the entire history of astronomy, we have never ever seen a synchronized group of comets enter our system like this. Not 2, not 3, 7. As they drew closer, the wow factor just kept increasing. Standard comets are mostly water ice, dust, and frozen gases like carbon dioxide. As they approach the sun, this material heats up and creates a glowing coma, or atmosphere, and the iconic tail that can stretch for millions of miles. These 7 comets, however, were behaving strangely. For one, their brightness was off the charts. They were shining with an intensity that suggested they were either monstrously huge, each one larger than any comet ever seen, or they were made of something far more reflective than dirty ice. What many overlooked in the initial excitement was their speed. They were traveling at over 150,000 miles per hour, a speed that suggested they didn't come from our Oort cloud at all. They came from the vast, dark expanse between the stars. They were interstellar invaders. Scientists were baffled, to put it mildly. Interstellar objects are incredibly rare. We've only ever confirmed 2 in our entire history. To have 7 arrive at once in a perfect formation was not just a discovery. It was an impossibility that was staring us right in the face. The world's space agencies, including NASA and the ESA, formed a joint task force. The official story given to the public was that we were about to witness a once-in-a-millennium cometary shower, a beautiful light show for all to enjoy. But behind the scenes, the mood was not one of celebration. It was one of deep, chilling concern. The fleet of 7 mysterious comets was on its way, and every new piece of data only deepened the terrifying mystery of their origin and their purpose. They are no longer just a distant anomaly. They are here. The message in the light. As the fleet of 7 mysterious comets crossed the orbit of Jupiter, something happened that turned scientific concern into genuine, heart-stopping alarm. The world's most powerful radio telescopes, Massive dishes designed to listen for the faintest whispers from the cosmos had been locked onto the incoming fleet for months. Most comets are silent travelers, giving off nothing more than the random crackle of plasma interacting with the solar wind. But these were not most comets. Inside the SETI Institute, the organization dedicated to the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, a junior technician first noticed the anomaly. It was a faint but perfectly regular pulse buried deep within the cosmic noise. At first they thought it was a malfunction, perhaps a prank signal bouncing off a military satellite. But the signal was too clean, too powerful, and it was moving in perfect lockstep with the 7 objects. It wasn't a natural radio burst. Those are chaotic, like cosmic static. This was structured. It was a repeating broadcast, a complex sequence of prime numbers, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and so on. To a mathematician, this isn't just a signal, it's a universal signature of intelligence. It was a deliberate hello from someone or something. The moment the signal was verified by 3 separate observatories, a total and immediate media blackout was imposed. The information was classified at a level above top secret, deemed too sensitive and potentially disruptive for public knowledge. But in a world of digital communication, perfect secrecy is impossible. Whispers began to leak from terrified scientists within the project. The message wasn't just a string of numbers. Embedded deep within the prime number sequence was a complex data packet, a payload of information so dense that our supercomputers are still struggling to decrypt it. Leaks from inside the project hint that the packet isn't just data. It's a blueprint for a technology so advanced it looks like magic to us. But the signal was only half of the puzzle. The James Webb Space Telescope was tasked with getting a detailed chemical analysis of the comet's comas, the glowing atmospheres surrounding their icy cores. What it found was another complete impossibility. You see, comets are supposed to be made of simple, common elements: hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, nitrogen. They are the leftover building blocks of our solar system. The spectrographs for these 7 comets, however, showed elements that should not exist in nature. We're talking about heavy, stable isotopes that, according to our fundamental understanding of physics, could only be forged in the heart of an exploding star, a supernova. Or they had to have been created artificially. The thing nobody tells you is that these comets were bleeding elements that were heavier than uranium, but were somehow perfectly stable and not radioactive. It was a discovery as profound and reality-breaking as finding a rock made of solid light. It shattered the known laws of chemistry and physics. One leaked email from a lead astrophysicist at NASA, sent to a trusted colleague, contained only 3 words: "God help us." To put it mildly, this discovery was a complete game-changer. It sent a shockwave through the clandestine scientific community tasked with studying these objects. The comets were not natural. Their impossible composition proved they were manufactured, engineered objects. This revelation provided a chilling context for their perfect V formation and their intelligent signal. They weren't just rocks, they were vessels. The wow factor here is almost too much to comprehend. We were staring at 7 pieces of advanced alien technology, each one miles wide, cloaked to look like ordinary comets. Who built them? And the more pressing question, why were they here? Speculation ran wild behind the closed doors of government agencies. Were they peaceful probes? Were they automated terraforming machines sent to prepare Earth for a new inhabitant? Or were they something far more sinister? The leading theory became terrifyingly simple. The comets weren't just broadcasting a signal. Their cores, made of those impossible elements, were generating immense energy fields. These fields were already interacting with Jupiter's powerful magnetosphere, causing it to fluctuate so wildly that NASA's Juno probe had to be put into emergency safe mode. If these same energy fields were to interact with our Sun, the results could be cataclysmic. They could trigger solar flares powerful enough to fry every piece of electronics on Earth, destroying our power grids, knocking our satellites from the sky, and plunging all of human civilization into a new dark age. The 7 invaders weren't just passing by. Their presence was actively and powerfully disturbing our entire solar system. A hidden war was now being fought, a war of information. our cosmic reckoning. As the fleet of 7 mysterious objects cruised past the orbit of Mars, their influence was no longer a matter of scientific debate. It was a reality. The sun itself began to convulse. Sunspot activity, the dark, stormy patches on the solar surface, exploded to levels that shattered every record known to science. Our planet was hammered by solar winds, so powerful they triggered auroras visible as far south as Miami and San Diego, painting the skies in colors they had never worn before. The official explanation came swiftly. Governments and their affiliated space agencies declared a once-in-a-century solar maximum, a natural, though unusually potent, part of the sun's cycle. They urged calm, issuing statements that the power grids were hardened and that the cometary light show would be a beautiful, once-in-a-lifetime spectacle. But many people are crazy about connecting the dots, and the pattern they were seeing was terrifying. The timing was just too perfect to be a coincidence. Truth be told, a global underground network of independent astronomers and amateur skywatchers began to fight back against the official narrative. They weren't using press conferences. They were using forums and data-sharing servers. They posted their own spectral analyses and telescopic observations online. The thing nobody tells you is that these amateurs, with their high-powered backyard equipment, were seeing things the public wasn't meant to see. They proved the comets weren't behaving like any comet in history. They were making slight, coordinated course corrections, tiny, almost imperceptible burns from points on their surfaces to maintain their perfect arrow-like formation. Natural comets tumble and drift. They don't fly in formation. The evidence was undeniable. These were guided, self-propelled objects. What many overlooked in the storm of official reassurances and online debate was the final, decrypted piece of that alien signal. The message wasn't a greeting or a declaration. It was a cold, simple countdown. And the terrifying part is, it wasn't counting down to their arrival in our solar system. It was counting down to an event that would happen precisely when they reached perihelion, their closest point to the sun. The scientists who cracked the code were horrified. Were these objects designed to detonate in unison? Were they here to intentionally destabilize our star, using those impossible heavy elements as some kind of catalyst for a stellar reaction we couldn't even comprehend? The scientists who were once merely disturbed were now terrified. And this is where the story stops being about astronomy and starts being about our immediate future. You are being told one thing, while the facts clearly point to another. Just think about it for a second. Does it make any logical sense that 7 objects from interstellar space would arrive at the exact same time, flying in a perfect V formation by sheer random chance? Is it just a coincidence that as they get closer, our sun is behaving in violent and unprecedented ways? This is the moment where we have to talk directly to you, the viewer. We've presented the data, the leaks, the impossible science. But the real question is, what happens next? If this is all true, if our solar system has been visited by 7 silent artificial messengers, are we missing the most critical detail? The thing is, maybe their target isn't our planet at all. Maybe their target is our sun. An attack on Earth could fail, but an attack on the sun could not. It would be like trying to miss the ground with a rock. This entire event has been framed as a cosmic mystery. But what if it's an act of cosmic engineering on a scale we cannot fathom, for a purpose we may never understand? The 7 visitors are now approaching their closest point to our star. The countdown is nearing its end. The official story is holding firm, but the truth is spreading like wildfire online. We are living through a moment that will define the future of humanity, and most people don't even know it. We've laid out the chilling evidence. Are these 7 comets a precursor to contact, or a countdown to a cataclysm? What do you believe? Let us know below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more answers to the universe's greatest mysteries.